Most people speak constantly, and nobody listens to them. They fill silence because silence makes them uncomfortable. They repeat themselves because they don't believe their own words. They speak at volume because they have lost faith in the weight of what they say. The Stoics had a different understanding entirely. Genuine respect, the kind that survives disagreement, outlasts conflict, and earns admiration even from enemies, is built sentence by sentence. 5 of them, to be exact. Epictetus knew them. Seneca lived by them. Marcus Aurelius used them to govern an empire. And after today, so will you.
This is not a problem invented by modernity. The Romans faced it. The Greeks analyzed it before them. The oldest philosophical archives in human history return to the same question again and again. Why do some men speak once and silence a room? Epictetus was a former slave. He owned nothing, no political title, no inheritance, no army. And yet the most powerful men in Rome traveled to hear him speak. Not because he was loud, not because he was persuasive in the modern sense, because when Epictetus spoke, every word was load-bearing. You are facing the same challenge today, not in a Roman forum, but in a boardroom, in a disagreement with someone you respect, in a moment when your credibility is under question and the words you choose will either confirm your character or quietly undermine it. What you say and what you choose not to say is the most permanent impression you will ever make. So let's begin. Number 1.
The name of the first sentence, the unconditional refusal. This is the sentence most people cannot deliver cleanly. No. Or in its longer form, that won't be happening. Watch how most people refuse. They say, "I'd love to, but I'm so busy right now." Or, "I wish I could, honestly, it's just the timing." They wrap the refusal inside an apology, inside an explanation, inside a softer word that means no but doesn't dare sound like it. That explanation is not for the other person, it is for themselves. It is a way of refusing without accepting the discomfort of the refusal. The result is a no that functions as a maybe. Every explanation you attach to a refusal teaches the person across from you that your no is negotiable, that the right argument or the right pressure can move it. Repeat this pattern long enough, and you have trained the people in your life to treat your limits as suggestions. Epictetus wrote in the Enchiridion that genuine freedom, not political freedom, not economic freedom, but the freedom that no one can legislate away from you, begins with what you are willing to refuse. The man who cannot say no clearly, he wrote, is not a free man. He has simply given his captivity a more polite name. Your practice this week, when the answer is no, state it. One sentence, no inflection of apology, no follow-up clause. Then hold the silence that follows. The discomfort you feel in that silence is the exact weight of the freedom you are reclaiming. The first sentence requires you to master your willingness to disappoint. The second asks something even harder. The second sentence has 4 words. They are perhaps the rarest 4 words in the modern vocabulary of intelligent, ambitious people. I was wrong about that. Think about the last time you heard someone say this cleanly. Not, I may have been slightly off on that point. Not, given the new information, we should revisit. Not the passive voice, not the institutional hedge, not the quietly repositioned truth. Just, I was wrong, said to the face of the person who was right. Most people treat this sentence as a surrender. They defend positions they privately abandoned days ago, not because they still believe them, but because they cannot bear the visibility of being wrong. Here is the hidden cost. Everyone in the room already knows when you are defending a position that has collapsed. The defense does not protect your credibility. It destroys it, slowly, publicly, in real time. Seneca, in Letters to Lucilius, letter 27, wrote that wisdom is not the absence of error. It is the speed and honesty with which error is acknowledged. A man who corrected himself without being prompted, Seneca believed, was demonstrating a form of courage that was rarer and more admired than the courage of never being challenged at all. The next time you realize, mid-conversation, that you were wrong, stop. Say it. Exactly those 4 words. I was wrong about that. Nothing after. Not yet. Let the sentence land without immediate rescue. The pause that follows is not humiliation, it is authority. 2 sentences in, both required the ego to stand aside. The third requires it to stand aside in the presence of someone who opposes you. If this kind of thinking is resonating, if you are building a life the Stoics would recognize, subscribe. This channel exists for people like you. The honest enemy. This is the sentence most people consider dangerous. Not because it is difficult to construct, because of when and to whom it is delivered. You are in disagreement with someone. They have argued against you, challenged your position, or competed directly with you. The room is watching. And instead of defending your ground or counterattacking, you identify one specific thing they did correctly. And you name it, aloud, in their presence. You were right about the third point. What you built there was genuinely well done. Not flattery, not strategic concession designed to lower their guard. A true, specific acknowledgement of the person you are in conflict with, spoken in front of others. This sentence terrifies people because it appears to give ground. It does not. It does something far more powerful. The person who cannot acknowledge what a rival does well reveals one thing. Their entire identity requires the rival to be inferior. The room sees this. The rival sees this. And what was supposed to read as confidence reads instead as fear. Marcus Aurelius kept a private practice recorded in the Meditations, a daily record of what he admired in the people he disagreed with most. He believed that a man who could learn only from allies was half as wise as the man who could learn from anyone, including enemies. He did not call this generosity, he called it philosophy. Before your next difficult conversation, identify one true thing the other person has right, not as a tactic, not as strategy, as a practice of seeing clearly. The person who speaks the honest enemy's name earns something tactical maneuvering never could. They earn being believed. 3 sentences. Each one cost the ego something. The 4th costs it in a completely different place. The boundary stated once. Not the explosion, not the silence. The single, quiet, immovable sentence. When a limit has been crossed, a commitment broken, a line overstepped, a behavior repeated that you have absorbed before without response, most people choose one of 2 approaches. They erupt. Volume, heat, the kind of language that gives the other person a story to tell about you. Or they say nothing at all and add the transgression to a private ledger of resentment that will eventually collect interest. The Stoic response is neither. One sentence, stated with the same vocal temperature you would use to describe the weather. No apology, no threat, no invitation to negotiate. That will not happen again. When you erupt, you teach people that they hold access to your interior state, that the right provocation will move you. When you say nothing, you teach people your limits are decorative. Both lessons are expensive. Both take years to reverse. Seneca, in De Era, on anger, wrote that the man who loses his temper in conflict is not expressing strength. He is demonstrating that control of his interior state belongs to someone else. The truly dangerous man, Seneca wrote, is the one who names what he will not accept with a voice that carries no anger, because that voice means the decision has already been made, the emotion has already been settled. Find the single sentence that names your uncrossed line. Practice saying it alone, without charge. When the moment requires it, say it once. Do not repeat it. A boundary stated once with a steady voice is a wall. A boundary stated with escalating volume is an invitation. 4 sentences. One remains, and this one may be the most counterintuitive of all.
The question under fire. When you are attacked, in public, in a conversation that matters, in front of people whose opinion of you is at stake, your first sentence is a question. Someone challenges you, criticizes your decision, your judgment, your work. The biological response is immediate: adrenaline, the assembly of counter-argument, the instinct to defend what is yours. Most people speak from that instinct. They defend before they understand. They argue before they've assessed whether there was anything worth arguing against. The Stoic response: one single, genuine, unhurried question. What exactly do you mean by that? Walk me through that thinking. Not a rhetorical trap, not deflection, a real request for the specificity that most criticism cannot survive contact with. Every defensive response confirms that the attack landed. It signals to the room their words had enough power to move me off my position before I'd even assessed whether it needed moving. Defense, deployed immediately, is indistinguishable from guilt. Marcus Aurelius recorded in his Meditations that before responding to any perceived offense, he asked himself 3 questions. Was the offense real? Was the intention behind it malicious? And would his response prove the accuser correct? He paused before every reaction, not from hesitation, from discipline. He called it the practice of never being moved by what had not yet been confirmed true. The next time someone challenges you publicly, your first sentence is a question, a genuine one, not scorn disguised as curiosity, an honest request for clarity. Then wait, in full silence. The answer will either collapse the criticism on its own terms or give you information you needed. Both outcomes serve you. Neither requires you to be loud. 5 sentences. A refusal stated without apology. An error acknowledged without defense. An enemy's strength named without fear. A limit drawn without anger. A question asked without deflection. Notice the pattern. Every sentence required the ego to release something. A need for approval. A need to be right. A need to protect territory. A need to punish. A need to defend. The Stoics called this command of the hegemonion.
the governing faculty. The part of you that decides before a word leaves your mouth whether you are acting from character or reacting from wound. Epictetus said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is your freedom." These 5 sentences are not a communication strategy. They are the daily practice of occupying that space. The person who has mastered this is not learning to speak with power. They are learning to stop speaking from fear. Marcus Aurelius wrote in the Meditations, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." 8 words of instruction, written by a man who commanded the largest empire on earth. A man who had every permission, every title, every authority necessary to say whatever he wished to anyone at any time. He wrote this as a reminder to himself. He was not asking for silence. He was not requesting passivity. He was asking for something far more difficult: the full alignment of what you know to be true with what leaves your mouth. No performance masquerading as conviction. No cruelty dressed in the language of honesty. No defense pretending to be principle. Just, if you would not stake your entire character on it, do not speak it. Here is the challenge. Starting today, before every sentence that matters, in every conversation where something real is at stake, ask 2 questions. Is this right? Is this true? If you cannot answer yes to both, wait. The silence that follows that kind of honesty is not weakness. It is the sound of a man who has become very difficult to argue against. The man who speaks rarely but completely does not command respect. He makes it impossible to deny. These 5 sentences are a beginning, not a destination. The man who masters his words does not stop at 5. This kind of thinking is rare. So is this channel. Subscribe. This channel is built for the person who takes their inner life seriously. The next step is speak once, never repeat. The Stoic rule of silence. It's linked above. It goes further, and it asks more of you. The Stoics never stopped. Neither should you.